Hi, this is Judy Green from Raw and Green Wellness Coaching, and I just wanted to talk to you a little bit today about two counter-regulatory hormones called insulin and glucagon. There's a couple other ones I'm going to talk about too, but these are the main ones. You may be aware of insulin and how important it is to transport or open the cell walls so that sugar and glucose can go into our cells to feed our cells. That's very, very important. It also has a huge impact on weight. Your body will not burn body fat if there is if there's insulin in your system. So if you're eating all the time or you're eating a high sugar diet, you are not going to ever get to a point where the insulin is low in your body and you can start releasing fat. So this is one of the reasons that we have such trouble with managing our weight. It's the way we're eating in the Western world. So it is really quite interesting to understand that insulin is secreted from the pancreas, and the glucagon, which is the counter-regulatory hormone, is also secreted from the pancreas, but by the alpha cells. Glucagon has a team of buddies that work with them in counter-regulatory aspect against insulin. One is epinephrine, which is also known as adrenaline. When you do fight or flight and you get your heart racing and all the blood pumps to your extremities so you can run away or fight, that's your adrenaline, and it's being produced by your adrenal glands. When cortisol is released, so that's also another stress hormone, it actually causes an increase in insulin, which then also triggers the liver to produce more glucose through a process called gluconeogenesis. So creating new glucose. Gluconeogenesis is done by the liver. Also, human growth hormone is another counter-regulatory hormone, and human growth hormone happens those first 2 hours before midnight. So this is why it's important to get to bed by 10 o'clock. When we are fasting, doing some extended fasts, we will have an optimal level of human growth hormone released into our bodies. And it's really kind of cool because the difference between calorie restriction, which is like 300 or 500 calories a day, and fasting, which is less than 50 or 100 calories a day, lies in these hormones being secreted. So when you're calorie restricting, these hormones are not secreted. You still have insulin in your bloodstream, in your system at high enough levels that it inhibits the burning of body fat. But when you reduce that by intermittent fasting and extended fasting, then you have the human growth hormone, you have the glucagon, you have the adrenaline and the cortisol that's being released in amounts that actually stop you from using muscle for fuel and encourage your body to use fat for fuel. So these are really, really critical if you're wanting to do weight management, understanding how these two hormones work. And of course, high sugar is what raises your insulin. When you're on a ketogenic diet, you're reducing that, you're keeping your carbs low, insulin low. It allows these counter-regulatory hormones to come into your system and help you burn fat. So this is how you biohack your hormones, and it's essentially an amazing way of using your body's own natural healing mechanisms and its need to return to homeostasis to achieve your goals. It works fabulous for women who are postmenopausal, may have that really, really stubborn fat because our hormones have been kind of bounced around in the last few years. So it makes it really difficult to release weight. But when you understand that the power that glucose has and its counter-regulatory hormones, glucagon, the human growth hormone, norepinephrine, and cortisol. And this is really the only case that cortisol is your friend, because normally high cortisol levels will cause an insulin reaction and cause you to store fat. But when there's no insulin in your system, the cortisol actually acts as your friend to help maintain muscle and not lose that muscle mass. So when you're intermittent fasting and you're doing ketogenic diet, you are not going to waste away to nothing. You're not going to starve yourself. The body has all of these hormones to balance out to make you be the best you, to return to your healthy weight. So I hope this has shed some light. I do have another video on 2 other very important counter-regulatory hormones, ghrelin and leptin, and they're the ones who manage your hunger and satiety, which is really important because none of us want to feel deprived. We don't want to feel hungry, and that's another place where the ketogenic diet is fabulous because of the low carbohydrates, moderate protein, and fat to satiety. You're not hungry. You're just not hungry, which is wonderful. It makes it so much easier to stay on the program and to achieve the results you want. So, Judy Green, signing off from Raw and Green Wellness Coaching. Till next time.